You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Happening now, the village of Falconer has erected signs recognizing their new Neighborhood Watch program. And a local nonprofit discusses the services they provide for the community. Plus, the Dunkirk Lighthouse has started up a fan favorite fundraiser.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us at Western New York News Now. I'm Lee Kane Jr. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, Douglas Augusta, 70, residing at 121 Front Avenue, Salamanca, New York, was charged with fourth-degree criminal facilitation following a lengthy investigation. The warrant led to the discovery of fentanyl on Augusta's property. After being taken into custody, Augusta was processed and subsequently released on an appearance ticket. The court date is set for September 13, 2023 at the City of Salamanca Court. In other news, a raid by the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office on Mixer Road, Forestville, New York on August 23, 2023 has led to the arrest of one following an investigation into narcotics and illegal weapons activity. Timothy Will faces an array of charges, including criminal possession of a controlled substance in the 3rd, 4th, and 7th degree, criminal using drug paraphernalia in the 2nd degree, as well as criminal possession of a weapon in the 3rd and 4th degree. The operation resulted in the confiscation of around 10 grams of fentanyl, prescription pills, drug paraphernalia, multiple high-capacity ammunition feeding devices, a switchblade knife, and $1,891 in cash. Held on bail at the Chautauqua County Jail, Will was arraigned subsequent to assistance provided by the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office SWAT team, Dunkirk Police, Jamestown Police, FBI Safe Streets, Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office, and Chautauqua County EMS. Two suspects were apprehended on charges of trespassing and drug-related offenses after officers responded to a trespass complaint at a condemned residence on Price Street. On August 26, 2023, at around 12:43 p.m., officers from the 1st Platoon responded to a trespass complaint at 129 Price Street, a condemned property. Responding officers discovered two individuals, Eric Ramos Astacio and Edwin Sanchez Jr., trespassing on the premises. As officers attempted to detain them, Ramos attempted to conceal evidence by hiding envelopes in his sock and mouth. Despite repeated commands from the officers, he resisted arrest by tensing up and attempting to pull away. Both Ramos and Sanchez were taken into custody and transported to the Jamestown City Jail without further incident. A subsequent search revealed that Sanchez was carrying 12.4 grams of cocaine in 23 separate capsules, while Ramos Astacio was in possession of 0.4 grams of fentanyl. Astacio is facing charges of tampering with physical evidence, resisting arrest, criminal possession of a controlled substance in the 7th degree, and trespass. Sanchez is charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance in the 3rd degree and trespass. The suspects are presently held at Jamestown City Jail, awaiting arraignment in Jamestown City Court. While in other news, the village of Falconer paid homage to the newly recognized Neighborhood Watch program by erecting signs throughout the village that read, "This is a Neighborhood Watch community." The group has gained popularity over the past few weeks, and according to their Facebook group, they are working to get our village of Falconer connected and communicating about growing our community and keeping it safe. In a post made by the Neighborhood Watch, the group sends their thanks to the village and Mayor Jaroszynski for hanging these signs. As WNY News Now continues, the Jamestown City Council voted to approve a new ticketing system for housing code violations. And later, we interviewed a local nonprofit to bring awareness to their services. Stay with us as WNY News Now will be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights. Vests.
Please, give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please.
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
Move over.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for years he's only said,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
The Jamestown City Council voted last night to approve a new ticketing system for housing code violations. Our Bronson Rasmussen has more.
The point of the ordinance is to go after smaller violations, ultimately keeping them away from housing court.
So we're going hard on these what may be considered smaller crimes, right? Smaller issues, but are big for our residents. And it's something that we've seen in a couple other cities, larger cities. And we wanted to try it out here in the city of Jamestown as a way to immediately ticket and fine individuals and encourage them to clean up their mess.
Once a resident receives the fine, they'll have a limited time to fix the violation to have the penalty possibly dropped. From one of the 3 channels of law enforcement the fine goes through. For many council members, lesser violation complaints are heard every day.
Since I've been on the council, probably 90% of the calls I receive from residents have to deal with exactly what is contained in this ordinance. It's, for lack of a better term, quality of life issues. It's neighbors not taking care of their properties, it's barking dogs, it's unlicensed vehicles, and it goes on and on. And these are the issues that most affect the people, and I'm sure my fellow council members are also dealing with exactly the same issues and the same calls.
Members of the public turned out for the voting session to give feedback to council members on the proposed ordinance.
The Department of Development has worked hard to create a vehicle for improving our neighborhoods and our commitment to housing. It's something that I think will make our community much better, much more advantageous for people to live in a home, whether they have a home now or they're thinking about buying something in the future.
Some were concerned with the safety of city workers.
Code enforcement officer agents or new hires for them? Is there a plan in place for their safety concerns? Or
Director of Development Crystal Surdick responded by saying the Department of Development implements a buddy system when dealing with individuals in the field.
They already have to do affidavits of service, so they have to personally serve notices of violation and appearance tickets already as part of their job. So again, if there is an instance where they feel like they may be threatened, they will bring another code enforcement officer with them. If they feel they need to have assistance from the police department, they will make that phone call and JPD will assist as well.
What's next for the ticketing ordinance? Lawmakers now have to figure out how to implement the new system.
Reporting from Jamestown, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
The Knights of Enchanted Dreams is a local nonprofit dedicated to helping people from all walks of life in a variety of ways. They offer many services, such as free meals for the homeless, social groups for those facing addiction, and handing out coats, blankets, scarves, and hats for the winter months. We interviewed Ron Wood in administration, Lynette Wilson, their secretary, and Sandra Welsh, the president, and they discussed the problems they are currently facing and what they want their viewers to know.
It's been very slow. Yes. People don't even know we're here. We try to get the word out. We do as much advertising as we can. We need donations to help keep it going. We're struggling, but we're maintaining it.
I think if there was one thing that any of us would want them to know is that we are here to help them no matter who they are. We are not judgmental. We want to help anybody that we can, that our door is always open no matter what their need. We've got a bunch of friendly people here that want the community to be better, to help them succeed and be the people they want to be.
The biggest thing that I want them to know is that we're there to fight for the addictions, to help people that don't get the help that they need, to try to find the right direction for them.
They also talked about Robert Welsh and the inspiration that he gave them to start the organization and their desire to truly help solve the problems plaguing the community.
He was a very generous man. Very
He loved
generous. He would have
everything.
gave the shirt off his back for anybody, and that kind of was the purpose here, was to show them that we're going to carry that on and that we're willing to do what we need to help people get where they need to be. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody is a good person. It's just a matter of finding that good person inside everybody.
My biggest thing is fighting for this addiction. When somebody does a drug addiction and they die from it, and they bring them back with that, what was it called? Narcan. And then they go to the hospital, and the hospital just lets them go instead of finding some kind of help. That's what we're shooting for.
That is
to get that changed.
That is a big thing with a lot of us, or even the suicide rate.
Yes.
And a lot of it is just, those are the things that the community really needs to focus on, and that's what we're pushing for, is that they will open their eyes to help these addicts and these people that are so depressed that they're even thinking about suicide. We want to help them. There is help for them. Putting them in jail or just giving them Narcan and putting them back out on the street is not the solution. That's just, in my opinion, by giving them that Narcan and saying, well, we'll see you in 2 weeks, is just giving them permission to continue doing it. Find out the source, find out why, and help them get away from this.
Nights of Enchanted Dreams can be found at 104 West 2nd Street in Jamestown, New York, 14701. In other news, the city of Dunkirk, led by Mayor Wilfred Rosas, is all set to host the eagerly awaited 3rd annual Latino Lakefront Festival on September 2nd, 2023. The festivities, taking place from 12 to 9:30 p.m. at 64 Lakeshore Drive East, promise an unforgettable cultural celebration. The event will feature live music, vibrant dancing, tantalizing food trucks, diverse vendors, and an engaging domino tournament. Attendees can groove to the tunes of a captivating music and dance lineup, including talents like DJ Edwin Gomez, Luis Guillermo, and the headliner Cali Uno. The festival's food and craft segments will be represented by Arlie and Izzy's, Alma Latina, Kanuku Uikoa, KS Designs LLC, and Mally's Market. For those seeking friendly competition, a domino tournament awaits participants aged 18 and above. The format involves a double elimination setup commencing at 11:15 a.m. and the tournament itself at 12 o'clock p.m. under a provided tent. Individual entrants can team up, competing for cash prizes and recognition. Interested individuals can find registration forms at the Dunkirk Youth and Recreation Festival's office in Stearns Court near City Hall. It's a day not to be missed. Coming up, a tragic incident outside of a McDonald's resulted in the death of a 16-year-old girl. And later, Governor Kathy Hochul has announced $8 million in funding for harm reduction services to reduce opioid deaths. But first, we return with a look at our full weather forecast.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Woo! 911, where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened? Your friend's not breathing. Please get my mom and dad. Oh my God!
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and every day. First Defense weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Let's take a look at some of the weather headlines. A cold front's going to move through the region later tonight that could touch off a few showers, but we're not expecting anything widespread. Behind that cold front tomorrow is going to be a cool fall-like day. We'll still keep a few showers in the forecast tomorrow. High pressure builds back in by Thursday, and that's going to provide dry weather through the end of the week and into the weekend with plenty of sunshine each day. And eventually we're going to warm back up by the weekend. But let's take a look at the temperatures, future temperatures tomorrow around lunchtime. Temperatures only expected to be in the upper 50s to lower 60s across the southern tier of northwestern Pennsylvania, and we're not expected to get much warmer than that through the rest of the afternoon, with highs tomorrow only in the low to mid 60s. Let's take a look at a tropical update. We're going to talk about Hurricane Idalia right now that is still in the Gulf of Mexico, but is projected to reach the Gulf of Florida by tomorrow afternoon. This was the advisory as of 11 o'clock this morning. Location 24.5 degrees north, 84.8 degrees west, moving north at 14 miles per hour, and maximum winds were around 85 miles per hour. Now this is projected to continue to strengthen before it reaches the Gulf of Florida tomorrow, projected to become a major hurricane. Right now it is a Category 1 hurricane. Back here across our region, let's time out the weather on Future Scan. Through the evening and into the overnight hours tonight, generally partly to mostly cloudy skies. Cold front moves through late overnight, could touch off a few showers across the area, and then a few showers will continue throughout the day tomorrow. Otherwise, tomorrow will be partly to mostly cloudy day. Again, cool day as well, with highs only in the low to mid 60s, and then high pressure builds in Wednesday night into Thursday, and that should provide for a beautiful day on Thursday with mostly sunny skies. So again, here is your forecast for tonight. Mostly cloudy skies, a few scattered showers and patchy fog may develop across the interior valleys of the southern tier, with overnight lows ranging from the upper 50s to the low to mid 60s. Your forecast for tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, a few showers throughout the day, a cool fall-like day with highs only in the low to mid 60s and a northwest wind of 5 to 10 miles per hour. Well, Friday Night Lights returns this Friday. High school football as the Jamestown Red Raiders have their first game of the season, looking like a good evening for football by kickoff. Partly sunny skies with temperatures around 70, and we should drop down to the 60s through the rest of the game as the first Friday night football game for the Jamestown Red Raiders coming up in just a few days. Now that 7-day outlook powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So after a few showers tomorrow, Thursday and Friday looking nice with highs in the low to mid 70s. The weekend continues to look beautiful, although it will be a little bit warmer over the weekend. Highs making it back into the upper 70s, close to 80, and then we should reach the lower 80s by early next week, but still doesn't look like many chances for showers are in the forecast, maybe not until Tuesday of next week.
Andrew, thank you. A tragic incident unfolded early Sunday morning as a 16-year-old girl lost her life due to a stabbing outside a McDonald's, with a fellow teenager now facing second-degree murder charges, according to multiple media outlets. According to authorities, the victim, named Maligan of Waldorf, Maryland, arrived at a hospital seeking treatment for stab wounds at around 2:10 a.m. Despite medical efforts, she succumbed to her injuries. D.C. police revealed that the stabbing occurred during a confrontation between two teen girls inside a car parked outside the McDonald's at the intersection of U and 14th Street Northwest. A police detective disclosed in court that the incident unfolded after the girls had ordered food and entered a vehicle together. Allegedly, an argument erupted over condiments, leading to the fatal stabbing. The alleged assailant, another 16-year-old girl from Waldorf, Maryland, was arrested on Sunday and charged with second-degree murder. Judge Sherry B.D. Arthur cited the dispute over sauces as a trigger for the violence when deciding to detain the suspect in a secure facility until the next hearing. Upon apprehension, the suspect was found to be in possession of a knife, according to a news release from D.C. police. In other news, Governor Kathy Hochul announced today plans to allocate nearly $8 million from New York State's opioid settlement fund to help expand harm reduction services and reduce overdoses. The opioid crisis is not just a public health issue, it is a crisis of humanity that touches every corner of the state, Hochul said. This funding underscores our commitment to holding manufacturers and distributors accountable while ensuring affected communities have the resources and compassion needed to end this epidemic. New York will receive more than $2 billion through settlement agreements with opioid manufacturers. Some of the settlement money will be going directly to municipalities statewide, with the remainder dedicated to supporting prevention, treatment, recovery, harm reduction, and education efforts to address the ongoing opioid epidemic. The two new funding opportunities through the Opioid Settlement Fund include expanding harm reduction services for priority populations who use drugs, which will receive $7.5 million over 2 years, as well as establishing a comprehensive coroner training program in the state, which will receive $400,000 over 2 years. Applications for the harm reduction service expansion are due by October 3rd, 2023, and applications for the coroner training program are due by October 5th, 2023. New York State Health Department Commissioner James McDonald said opioid use disorder and other drug dependencies can be challenging chronic diseases, yet they are treatable and long-term recovery is possible. In order to combat the overdose epidemic, New York State has implemented a multifaceted strategy under the direction of Governor Hochul. This funding aims to increase access to harm reduction services, including medications to treat addiction, supportive counseling, and other preventative health care services. It also includes a comprehensive training program for coroners who serve an important role in public health. New Yorkers struggling with an addiction or whose loved ones are struggling can find help and hope by calling the state's toll-free 24/7 or 24-hour, 7-day-a-week Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY, which is also 1-877-846-7369, or by texting HOPE-NY, short code 467369. Well, coming up next, with Halloween on the horizon, the Dunkirk Lighthouse is starting up a fan-favorite fundraiser.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes! Make a plan today.
If you want to speak truth to the masses, make it funny for the classes.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
With spooky season quickly approaching, the Dunkirk Lighthouse has once again begun a fan-favorite fundraiser. Our Alyssa Wright has more.
Ghost hunters and enthusiasts, it's that time of year to grab your gear and make your way down to the historical Dunkirk Lighthouse for the paranormal tours. Staff at the lighthouse have teamed up with a local paranormal group, Village Haunts, who will guide participants through the buildings with their equipment to experience the spooky specters that reside in the museum.
I go through a little bit of the history, take them on a little tour of the house, up to the top of the tower, of course, because, of course, the tower is a fabulous place to be. We do that, go through both buildings, and then the ghost hunting group, they break everybody down into like 3 separate groups, and then they spend 45 minutes apiece going to different various areas of the property, looking for ghosts, talking to the ghosts, seeing if they'll respond. Then they take a little break, and then you go to a different spot, and you kind of remove around all the different spots that they can.
The museum has a rich history, which explains why these spirits decided to hang around, according to the tour guide.
Several of them are former lighthouse keepers that lived here on the property. We had lighthouse keepers on the property from 1826 until 1960 when they automated the light, because we are still an aid to navigation. We still are an operating lighthouse. But up until 1960, they needed people living on the property. And so we have several different lighthouse keepers, because lighthouse keeping was not just a job. It was not something you just did. It was your whole entire life. And if you were a lighthouse keeper, you did never want to leave. You wanted to stay. So several of the lighthouse keepers are still here doing their magic, you know, keeping the lighthouse alive and, you know, making sure the light is working when it's supposed to be. Other ones, because we are a museum, we are a military museum also, and there are lots of artifacts from people around the area, their uniforms, things that they used during the wars and stuff that people are attached to.
The tour will take participants through the museum, where the bottom floor has been preserved to resemble how the lighthouse keepers would have kept it, up to the second floor that has been converted into a historical museum, and then up to the top of the lighthouse to observe a breathtaking view. If ghost hunting isn't your cup of tea, no worries. The Dunkirk Lighthouse has daytime tours as well and encourages each visitor to sign in at their guest book. The Paranormal Tours tickets are selling out quickly. To purchase a ticket and participate in the tour, you can visit DunkirkLighthouse.com. Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
Well, that's going to be it for us today. I'd like to thank you all for watching. News continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. You can download it today for free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. We're also on Channel 716 on Roku and at channel716.com. Thank you for watching.